thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Art Express, the opportunity to express art in its entirety. I am Tolokwe Lamidi. Today on the show, small and iconic miniature art and core gallery engages us with exhibitions in gallery, and the 2023 World Tourism Day is on Spotlight and Theatre. Stay with us.
So this particular exhibition is one of 3 exhibitions that we're running right now in celebration of the gallery's 1-year anniversary. This particular exhibition is titled Beacon, and it's something that's very close to my heart because it is one of our first exhibitions we've done in support of a foundation. So the proceeds from Beacon help support the Children Living with Cancer Foundation that's in Nigeria. Most of the artworks were made by children who are either living with cancer, who have survived cancer, or children who donate their time and their artwork towards the cause of supporting children who live with cancer. So it's quite an impactful cause for the Beacon exhibition, but I also think while the subject is quite serious, the exhibition itself is quite joyful. It's full of vibrant colors and really beautiful, poignant artwork by children. So typically, when people hear about the Children's Art Gallery, before they come into the door, they already have an impression of what it's going to look like. People typically think it's going to be maybe some doodles or scribbles on paper, but we process and exhibit all types of artwork: 2D art, 3D, abstract, hyperrealism, impressionism. What we've discovered is the art that children make is very typical of what adult artists make as well. So we even have children who make conceptual art itself. And I think there's a lot of adult artists who actually get their inspiration from the way that children create as well. So typically when people come in the door, they're very surprised by what they see.
These artworks were made in August at the Lut ward with children battling cancer. So we had survivors come around, other kids come around, and they made these artworks, as we do every year, to create awareness and support, because we create the support through the sales of these artworks, and when we sell them, it goes to the foundation, the Children Living with Cancer Foundation. I'm actually the founder of Phoenix Talent Studio, and in 2016 I started the exhibition, and that was when somebody introduced me to childhood cancer. Like, they told me there are children battling cancer, and I'm like, in this country? And they took me to the ward. I saw it with my eyes. I walked with them, and it was very emotional for me. And then I dedicated the exhibition then to children battling cancer, and subsequently I decided to partner with Children Living with Cancer Foundation. And it's been successful so far, because I know that every year we'll always get at least 1 or 2 persons that would always discover that, oh, there are children that have cancer. Oh, these are the things we can note out, we can check to know that this child has the sign or symptom of childhood cancer. And right now in Nigeria, about 90% of the kids die, which is as a result of lack of finance, superstitious beliefs, and then I would call it denial, because most parents don't want to believe their children have cancer. They would say, my child is not in my family or something. But it's not genetic, actually. It's not genetic, unfortunately. And by the time they bring these kids to the world, it's too late. We've had cases where people will say, oh, they use the child for rituals, or oh, this child is cursed. And the parents are even scared to speak out, because they say in their church they might put them aside or talk about them. People start talking, oh, this person that has a child. So everybody is scared. Most of the parents are scared to speak out. So we try to do this so that we let other people know, because you can save a child. And we've had cases of even children saving other children just by noting that, there's something wrong with your eyes, it's not normal. And then they go for test and realize the child is already having like a small tumor in the eyes. We've had that case. So the reason why we do this is to create more awareness and support, basically.
The Thrill of It, a premiere of TCAG's Doodle series, collaborative art made by children who donate their creativity to afford other children art supplies and art programs, presented to an international audience from 20 countries around the world. Nurture Nature, the healing power of color, which gives children the platform to present visual stories about creating awareness about climate change, being a steward of our local environment, and building a culture of care for people, nature and ecosystems. And Beacon, which calls to summon hope in support of children and their families affected by cancer. The selected works are made by children living with cancer, childhood cancer survivors, donated pieces made by children, as well as group pieces made in workshops at Louvre.
Majorly by Esther. She's an inpatient. She wants to become an artist in the future. And she did most of this painting, but she was assisted by Ifunaya, another inpatient, and James, a childhood cancer survivor. So we have every month, at the end of the month, we have celebrations for them at the ward to celebrate those that were born that month. And so we have survivors come around, we have other kids and families come to celebrate with them. And so they do things too. We make artworks. And this works. This was made by, fortunately, Esther she was declared free the last day of the workshop, so she can go. Unlike the other girls, like Ifunaya, for example, she is in critical condition right now. She was out when we did this, she was all around, she was still strong, but now she's in critical condition. We have Ramat. I remember when we were doing this work, this is one of my interesting stories, because we were walking outside the ward and she was inside the ward. She's just 4. And every 5 minutes she would do, and I'm like, Ramat, we can't come inside. And then she would stay. The next 5 minutes, she's just trying to call our attention that I'm here, you can't leave me out of this. And I had to seek permission from one of the nurses that, okay, let's go inside to work with her. And she was so excited and she made this piece. And this piece was started by a child, but the parent wants to stay private, so it was finished by another child. So there were 2 that made it majorly. And in this corner, we have lots of kids we've lost, but these are some of the kids we've lost to childhood cancer. These are the ones who could get their pictures. And I've been privileged to work with some of them in person. Like I know this group, I worked with them. I work with this group. We know about Sean's story. She died from leukemia. Her story is a very emotional one, which I don't think I want to go into details. So this is their corner, and then we wrote a poem for them because they fought till the end. They were very strong. You see, when you hear their stories, the way they were during treatment, they were so happy, friendly, they would play with you. Even some of them till the last minute, they're still very positive. They will tell you, oh, mommy, please don't do this, don't do that, don't think, don't worry, everything will be all right, you know? You can imagine children can't fathom the idea behind dying, you know? Death is not something that it's, for them is, but here we are, and we hope that more Nigerians will support this cause, because we're looking at having a place where these kids can get treatment for free. Their parents can be put in a place, because most of these parents, when they come to the hospital, there's no place for them to stay. They will probably sit on the floor, and most of them sell their properties, they lose everything, and they are frustrated. And childhood cancer goes beyond just the child having the cancer, it affects everyone around them. We've had cases where even the sibling was feeling guilty that he caused the cancer for his brother, and they were asking, why would you think that way? He said, because we had a fight, you know, siblings fight, and they just say, something will happen to you, you know, those fights. And then I think weeks later, the brother was diagnosed with cancer, and the boy was feeling like, I'm the one that caused the cancer. So it's psychological. And we've had nurses, you know, when these kids die and these doctors will cry, and people will tell them, if you're crying this much, what do you want the parents to do? But it's emotional because they are kids. You bond with them when you're working with them. So it's a whole lot, and we're hoping Nigerians will do more by donating, because we need to have a place for them, for their families, to set them up so that they don't feel frustrated. Because most of them, after the kids leave the world, their life is finished as we know it. No money, nothing to go fall back on and all that. So we're reaching out to Nigerians to come support the foundation, even if it is to pay into the foundation's account every month at the end of the month, or if you're an artist, a kid artist, donate to the gallery. Tell them you're doing this for the children with cancer, or you come out here and buy artworks as well. It will go a long way.
Today on Gallery, Cole is pleased to present Optics, a group exhibition that examines the psychological and imagery realms of portraiture. Now, this artist explores the complex layering of identity through techniques of image manipulation, distortion, and collage, offering alternative perspectives on personhood.
Body of work I'm exhibiting is called Within Rooms, and it's based on personal experience of me experiencing survivor's guilt. So I've experiencing survivor's guilt for close to a decade, that's 10 years, and it's more about how I seek therapy to see that you can remove the problems from yourself, or whatever emotions you're passing through. They're not like who you are, and you can actually step out of them like the way you can in rooms. You know, and these different rooms have different colors. So when you look at my work, you see different rooms with different colors that represent different emotions that I am out of, but the person I was is still inside of it. So for me to be able to understand myself more, I go back to the person that I was in that period or during that period to understand the semantics around those emotions or those feelings at that time. So optics mostly is about different ways in which you view things. So I feel my work keys into this because of the use of architecture. My work makes use of like desolated architecture as an emotional place, and you know it offers you multiple ways to see something. When you meet my work, what you see is several sides to a story.
On my right, I have a piece that has, that comes in a sort of pinkish background, which I title "What If." What if is a piece that has to do with an asunder. Is a work that presents a third-party asunder. You know, like where I have a hand that I rendered in white hue, propping between my two subjects that appear on my canvas. So this stems from my woman-to-woman relationship complexity. So in a situation where two persons are in oneness, where two persons are now united, are teamed up, and a force in the form of a person, props in as an asunder to obstruct the ongoing flow and fluidity between my two subjects. So that's what I have here presented on that work. Here, behind me, I have this sort of subjects that are somewhat close up, or somewhat in an intertwined close-up presentation. So which the work I have titled Pleasure Capital.
Optics draws inspiration from its multiple meanings. Optics may refer to the scientific study of sight. It may also refer to an individual's perception and worldview. These artists craft portraits that intersect the personal and the cultural, drawing subjects from archival imagery and the collective imagination. Their portraits capture both the uniqueness of individual experiences and the universality of the human condition. Further, they contemplate the psychological impact of architecture, geometry, and space. Alternating the interplay of flatness and depth, these artists weave surreal narratives and conjure optical illusions that are simultaneously fantastical and emotionally resonant.
Well, I think the difference in portraiture, so it's portraiture but with a difference, so just not a face, there's a slight twist to it, and what we like is to group certain artists together. This is a show of young artists. We have one which is doing photography, Mo Bulaji, we've shown before. We love her work. We showed her at 154 in New York and we sold out, and she had great acclaim abroad as well as over here. It's young, exciting, invigorating. I think the palette is incredible. They're all trying to do their best, and they're young artists that all have a certain twist to them.
I try to express myself. I try to express my way of life, living in the moment, which is what I'm learning actually. And I try to include my femininity. I try to include femininity into it because I grew up with women, and I actually love their tenderness. So I try to include that into my way of life and into my art as well, into my living in the moment. Into this exhibition, Optics, which is actually talking about sight. With that, I try to lay more emphasis on the eye, to look in between, to look through the mind of my muse and that of my emotions as well. My works, the one behind me is actually titled Luna, which is actually about myself, about the way I live. This kind of introvert, an extreme one. So I kind of live alone. Even sometimes when people try to visit me, I try to feel uncomfortable. So I'm used to living alone and expressing myself on my canvas, and that's what I do. So I try to use that as myself.
My work, I am exploring liminal space, and I am inspired by the fear of the unknown and existential crisis. So with my work, I am connecting with the title of this exhibition, Optics, because optics is a view into an imaginary world and somewhere that's outside of human reality. So with my work, I am also giving the people that are looking at my work a different view into another reality. So the work on display is titled Of Waking Instincts. It's a continuation of the body of work that I did last year, which was I Met Cordelia Somewhere Not Here. It's a journey into the delusional realm as an individual, and it serves as it's trying to describe a futile escape from the delusional space where we often go due to trauma and existential crisis.
Today on Gallery, Art Ensemble, in partnership with Patron Modern and Contemporary African Arts, presents 5 in Focus, the 5th edition of Small and Iconic Miniature Art Exhibition. Let's go there.
this collection were, selected in a way that they were inspired by hope, for a man that is struggling, So I try to pass a message of hope and, to always keep on moving regardless of situations. Yeah, I've been painting for more than 8 years now. For more than 8 years, professionally. It has always been a childhood passion, and I've always consistently, follow it, right from time. All in my thoughts, it's a painting on canvas, mixed media. I infuse colors like I use acrylic colors, markers, and yeah, just that, and ink.
My name is Ketura Ovio. I am the curator of Small and Iconic. Small and Iconic is a miniature exhibition series that was created by patrons modern and contemporary African art. The goal of Small and Iconic is for us to push miniaturism into mainstream art media because it's not popularized or practiced in Africa. And I feel like powerful stories can be communicated and shared and, penned down in history in very small sizes. About Patrons, Patrons is Africa's leading art advisory and dealership firm. We do the whole 9 years of arts, advisory, consulting, auctions, exhibitions, artist representation, valuation, appraisals, storage, logistics, the whole 9 yards. So if you're looking for a partner as a corporate, as an individual, to start your collection, to diversify your wealth through art collection, to appraise your existing collection.
This exhibition is an immersive showcase of boundless creativity across the African continent and beyond. With great pride, 5 exceptional artists from 5 diverse nations, Cameroon, Nigeria, South Africa, Rwanda and France, are presented. The exhibition seamlessly weaves together cultures, styles and perspectives to ignite a dynamic celebration of creativity. More than an exhibition, it's an invitation to embrace the convergence of vision, variety and vibrancy of African art.
Small and Iconic is a miniaturized exhibition of paintings and sculptures, artworks generally. We try to advise the artist to work on a defined scale in terms of size, meaning that for the exhibition, you shouldn't produce any work more than 30 inches, that's the maximum. And also you shouldn't produce anything less than 1 foot, which is the minimum standard. The whole idea is to miniaturize what they do, to look at the other angles, especially for artists who are used to working on large surface. But that's not the focus. The focus is to begin to, make artists think a little bit on the small scale as a factor, as against doing it without even thinking about it. The whole intent is to not necessarily persuade, but give them a standard that they have to have it in their subconscious, that these are the restrictions. It's difficult when you tell somebody, I don't want you to move beyond certain point, so it becomes a bit challenging. So for us to tell artists, we don't want you to do more than 30 inches for a piece of work, or maybe less than 1 foot. That's the challenge we want. That challenge is, challenges your creativity. So, and you can see the results. All right, so that's the whole concept.
And that's our package for today's show. It's always a pleasure to take you on this walk weekly. So love art and live art. My name is Tolokwe Lamidi. See you next time.